Good afternoon, Texas Democrats, and to everybody watching today. I want to just begin by thanking Chairman Hinojosa and all of the wonderful Democrats who have helped put this convention together. Now, I know it's been said many times, but of course, this might be the most unusual and unprecedented Texas Democratic Party convention ever. I'm from San Antonio, and we had looked forward to welcoming you to San Antonio this year. I hope that you'll make it down there as soon as you can. I'm glad to be here today, though, and you know, a couple of days ago, I shared with the Texas Young Democrats a quick story that I'd like to share with you. My brother Joaquin and I grew up in an active household. My mother, Rosie, was a Chicana activist, involved in the Young Democrats, and later tried to get on the San Antonio City Council when she was 23 years old. She didn't win, but she used to drag us to meetings and speeches and rallies, make us hand out literature at polling sites on Election Day. And I can recall almost 30 years ago, in the spring of 1991, going with my mom to the election night event for a candidate named Maria Antonieta Berezabal, who was trying to become, at that time, only the second woman and the first Latina elected as mayor of San Antonio. That night, we went to the event, and as we were walking out, my mother, my brother, and I, Joaquin and I were about 16 then, we passed a woman at a bus stop on Commerce Street in downtown San Antonio. And the woman had her two young children with her. She was a young mom. She must have seen, as we passed by, the shirts that we had on that said Maria for mayor. As we passed, she looked at us and she asked us, "Did we win?" I'll never forget the way that she asked that question, the sound of her voice, or the way that she looked at us. Because I could tell that what she was asking was not, "Did you and your candidate win?" She was asking, "Did me and my boys win? Did we all win?" I remember that moment because that's what I've always thought that politics and policy should be about, how we can all win. I see her face reflected in the faces of each and every one of those folks who are out there marching and protesting so that this nation can ensure we live up to our highest ideals and eliminate the scourge of racism and bigotry from our country. And I hear her voice in their cries that there is a way for us to win. I see her face in the faces of meat plant workers and farm workers, of grocery store workers and fast food workers who, during the time of this COVID-19 pandemic, have been asked to do the most and often, and for generations, have been invested in the least, working long hours, oftentimes in bad conditions, but especially during this time, sacrificing so that all of us can live our own lives and stay safe and healthy. When we ask that question, how can we all win? It's not a mystery to Democrats. We know how we can make that possible. It begins by ensuring that we push our country to live up to its highest ideals. That we do that not only with our words, but also through our deeds, through taking concrete steps to eliminate discrimination in housing, in healthcare, in the workplace, and in policing in our country. That we embrace fundamental reforms to our policing system so that what happened to George Floyd never happens again. It also means that we fix our economy for all of those workers that we have been depending on, who have been coming through for us, so many of whom don't make much more than the minimum wage, who live in substandard housing, some of whom are homeless. who have been sacrificing so much for the entire nation. We can fix our economy and invest in health care for every person in America. We can fix our economy and invest in safe, decent, affordable housing. We can fix our economy and make sure that everybody has the skills that they need to thrive in this 21st century. During my campaign, we highlighted the most vulnerable Americans. We visited with homeless individuals who are living in a storm drainage tunnel that runs underneath the Las Vegas Strip. We talked to young people who were in the foster care system and told us about the changes we need to make to ensure that more foster care kids have a chance to graduate from high school, go on to college, to reach their dreams. We talked to migrants who are dreaming of a better life, and dreamers who are watching as our Supreme Court decides their fate. And what we gathered from that is that if we can make our country work for the most vulnerable Americans, if we can unrig our economy so that it benefits every single person and not only a select few, then we can live up to the promise of America. And there's no better place to start than the state of Texas. Texas has always been a land of opportunity. Today, it represents America's tomorrow. It's young, it's diverse, it's growing. And we have an opportunity this November to send a strong message, not only about the future of Texas, but about the future of this country, by ensuring that we take back the State House, flip those 9 seats that we have to flip, that we welcome a new Democratic United States Senator as we defeat John Cornyn, and that we deliver the 38 electoral votes of Texas to the next President of the United States, Joe Biden. I want to ask each and every one of you to do everything that you can. Make phone calls, send those emails, talk to your family, talk to your neighbors. Become a voter registrar. I'm told that in the voter registrar training as part of this convention, a little while ago, there were 3,400 participants, which is wonderful. There's an energy there. There's a belief among Texas Democrats that we can do it this time. And we can, with your help. I hope that if you're able to make a contribution, you'll do that. But most importantly, that you'll get out and vote and have your family and your friends vote to make sure that every single Texan can get good health care, that every child sitting in a classroom gets a good education, that every Texan has a job that will support them and their family, and that we do our part to make this wonderful nation even stronger.